Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this Red Gaming Tech video. My name is Marta and I hope you're having an amazing day. Today we're going to get stuck right in with our first topic, which is regarding AMD's market share. As I'm sure you guys are very much aware, AMD have been on an absolute tear over the last few years, with Ryzen just going from strength to strength, and Intel have been struggling to compete, and obviously AMD have just been steadily gobbling up market share. And now AMD has hit yet another milestone in that market share, according to the report's research analyst firm Mercury Research. And this latest market share report shows that AMD has hit its second highest market share since the fourth quarter of 2006, which is pretty nuts to think about. 2006, I would have still been in college, which makes me feel incredibly old. But as for the actual percentage, according to Mercury Research, AMD has achieved a 24.6% market share during the last quarter. And as they themselves say, this is the second highest overall x86 share for AMD. And again, that highest overall was 25.3% back in the fourth quarter of 2006. So it is just 0.7% points away from that record share. However, the notebook unit share, excluding Internet of Things, was 22%, which is a new all-time high, and notebook revenue also hit an all-time high of 16.2% in the third quarter of this year, increasing 1.3 share points, quarter over quarter, and 3.9 share points year over year. So basically they are a hair away from beating that record that they set quite some time ago now, but in terms of notebooks they are absolutely crushing it. And there's a reason that both Paul and I have said that mobile is an extremely important market for both Intel and AMD. It is obviously ever increasing. Now, whether or not they'll be able to keep hold of this market share is definitely a very, very different question. You know, Alder Lake has finally managed to be competitive against Ryzen, but obviously we've got Zen 3D coming out before too long, as well as Zen 4 next year, so it is definitely going to be a back and forth between the two companies, and we may very well see Intel start to fight back, which again is good for us as the consumer. It's better if there's competition on both sides so that neither company gets complacent, which is obviously kind of what we saw before Zen was a thing. But still, AMD's success continues to grow. Definitely keep an eye out to see if it will continue. And speaking of Zen, something I found really cool and interesting, even if it's something that I personally will never be able to afford, but the new Tesla car computer does actually feature a Zen Plus Ryzen embedded APU as well as a discrete Navi 23 GPU. Now, if you've been keeping your ear to the ground for all things Tesla, you may know that it was rumoured for some time to be a Zen 2 based chip, but it has now been officially confirmed that it is indeed Zen Plus. And according to the YouTube channel iGenerics, and of course you can find their video linked below, it is a quad-core APU for 45 watts, 0.5 megs of L2 cache and 4 megs of L3. And apparently it is a Picasso-based APU. So I'm not going to go through all of the specifications of this particular reveal, because again there is iGenerics' video linked below, but I still thought this was really interesting and just yet another application of the Ryzen processors. Obviously that is something AMD have been very keen to push, that both Ryzen and Navi is very flexible and can be scaled for pretty much whatever you like. But we're going to move on now to Intel, as we have a bit of an update for DG2, otherwise known as Intel's Alchemist, or Intel XE if you prefer, as we have a new graphics driver update, and it has listed several Intel XE SKUs. Now, this driver does add support for various iGPUs for Alder Lake P, which is the high-end mobile, as well as the lower power Alder Lake processors, but we also see initial support for our Alchemist, which is the part I'm going to focus on here, and we see 32 new IDs here for the DG2 GPU family, which is 6 times more IDs for DG2 than there were for DG1. Now, this probably doesn't mean we're going to be seeing 32 SKUs for Intel XE. That would kind of be crazy, but it does seem to heavily suggest that we will be seeing more SKUs for DG2 than we ever saw for DG1. But still, it's encouraging to see that Intel are preparing the support for Intel Xe. Obviously, they did discuss Intel Xe a little bit at their recent innovation event, but it was obviously a lot about Alder Lake, but I'm really looking forward to learning more about what's going on with Intel's Alchemist. But speaking of GPUs, unfortunately, I do have some bad news for those of you who perhaps were praising and waiting to get your hands on an RTX 30 graphics card, as the EVGA product manager Jacob Freeman has officially confirmed on the company's forums that a truck was stolen, which was moving various RTX 30 GPUs from their EVGA distribution center. It was loaded with various models, which obviously means that various GPUs that were on their way to stores, well, they are now in the hands of who knows. There is an official statement here from an EVGA. You can read it in the link below, but it is essentially confirming what I just said, that each has an estimated retail value starting at 3299 up to 19599 MSRP, which basically means anything from the RTX 3060 all the way up to the RTX 3090. So yikes, this is pretty bad news, and again, you can find a link to their official forum post in the description below. But we're going to finish up today's shorter video just as a confirmation of something that I discussed on our website. You may recall that I wrote an article a little while ago basically saying that the GTA Trilogy Definitive Edition, which of course includes GTA 3, Vice City and San Andreas, would include DLSS, and it has now been officially confirmed by Nvidia that the Trilogy Definitive Edition, will indeed be getting DLSS, and you can of course find more information at the link in the description below. So there you have it, just another bonus, and you might wonder why. Well, I would counter that with why the hell not? Crank that resolution and just make it look as pretty as possible. And I don't really want to talk about it too much here because there's entire channels dedicated to this, but go watch the Elden Ring gameplay preview if you haven't already. It looks so good. I can't wait. It looks amazing. And I'm sure we're all looking forward to seeing what the analysis channels have to say about all the little details, but I am so hyped for Elden Ring. I cannot wait. Anyway, that's me done for this video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.